Hi Virgo, welcome to your monthly reading. As always, keep in mind that this is only a general reading. Always take what it feels right and with what does resonate within your own life experiences during this time. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, please contact me through the email I put in the description box below. For the month of September, as usual, I have a special sales offer available, a special tarot creation based on Virgo themed season, which is called Wipe Clean. So if you would like to know more details about that special offer or any other of my services, just email me. Or if you would like to donate and support my channel, you can also do so by following the PayPal link, which is also down below, such as my Instagram and Facebook page. So, Virgo, I do feel like September has a lot of hard work associated with it. I do feel like for some of you, this season of yours brings with it an extreme amount of motivation to work hard for the things you want. I feel like some of you during the month of September could have really great achievements, something here that either you have been already working hard for and you're like given the compensation and the result accordingly to that hard work that you have put into it, or this is something you are starting to do during September that requires a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, a lot of focus into the matter, into what you want to be. I do feel like some of you want to be almost like perfect at whatever you're setting yourselves to do during September. So you're already kind of natural perfectionism associated with Virgos in general is really strongly present in your reading for September. So September and the Virgo season for the Virgo people, for the Virgo tribe, is really impacting here the perfectionism. So I do feel like some of you are trying to do something or fix something, study something, create something, even in your own presentation, your own image. I feel like you're really scrutiny. It's like there's this scrutiny about little details that it's so profound that might really get you into situations where you go so deep into the matter that it's very hard to bring you back. So I'm feeling like sometimes this energy of being very focused, like laser focused into the things you want to be successful at, might sometimes it's like it brings you into this almost like this energy, like you're taken to another dimension that kind of makes you detach from reality and detach from the things you have going on around you. So I do feel like in a more negative state, some of you Virgos during September are also having a hard time understanding what's circling around you. So situations around you, relationships, um, things that are not about what you're concentrated, what you really want to achieve right now, what you're seeing as being the priority. They can suffer from some sense of I feel like some of you might be giving a vibe to your environment that you don't care or you don't want to be bothered by it, or like it's not your concern. So I feel like some of you Virgos might be coming across for some of your circle, people in your circle, you might be coming across as not being very much available during this time. And the truth is that for some of you Virgos, you really don't have time. You don't have time to give as much during this period. I do feel like some of you have extreme amounts of work and you're like overwhelmed, overburdened with the amount of work you have going on. Some of you are also just wanting to do all this thing by yourselves. It's like you don't want to bring others to your problems. You don't want to bring, people to your situations and difficulties. So you're like putting them off or aside so you can focus on those priorities. And um, I do feel like some of you don't want to open up about what's holding you back, what's keeping you in a position that is kind of tight, or where some of you Virgos might be feeling like you're under a lot of pressure. Like you're getting like September, as it brings a promise of reward, right? And you conquering here something career wise, especially career wise or professionally. Like there's this aim, this goal with a project, with an idea, with the work you're involved with something you're creating, with something you have been developing, that you know you're going to win, you know you're going to succeed, you know you're being called to push forward, to keep pushing it until you achieve it, to keep being, you know, confident about this pursuit and about this intention. And the Chariot is your main energy for September. So it's something quite positive because it brings an omen of success and victory in what you're pushing yourself to do, to succeed, to go after, and what you're allowing as well to leave behind. Because a chariot, in order to move, always leaves behind the nest, the comfort zone, the familiarity, the energy of, you know, of settling into conditions that are too comfortable. And what you're striving here to create or to achieve is something that it's great, that is almost like it's bigger than you. And so because of that enormous you know, that understanding of how, of the enormous the enormity of something, of how hugely something could impact your life or situations in your future, um, it's like you're carrying a lot. You're carrying a lot of that weight for something so impactful that even if it's not happening right now, you know that sooner or later is about to happen. Sooner or later, Virgos are setting themselves to have this very important move, change, that is going to change here how your professional life has been, how your financial life has been. For some of you, this might even include travel, movement, relocation. There's a feeling of really being freed. You're about to end here a cycle in which you had to put a lot of effort to keep doing, to keep working, to keep creating. So in terms of energy, there's this burden, there's this weight, there's this tiredness associated with your with how much you had to persevere, to be resilient, because the Ten of Wands is an energy that it gets there to the finishing line, but the road to the finishing line, I'm sorry, it's very tiring because it's carrying this burden again that it's bigger than what it can hold. So you're going to get there, you're about to get there, and I feel like as you move into October, actually harmony and relationships again will be more balanced than what they might be in September. So if you feel like you don't have time for your partner, or you're not focused in your current friendships and people you care about, or even in love in general, as you go into into October, and as Libra season starts off, I feel like again this relationships that have been suffering from some absence of yours, from some lack of availability, from some lack of again time, from you being pulled again to that dimension where you're so focused on work that you don't see anything else. I feel like you're going to come back even during September, or as you go into October, you're going to have the comeback, either because there's this manifestation of a beautiful relationship that makes you or pulls you out of your own, you know, hiding places, or because, you know, I also feel like there's someone that again is suffering from your absence and is going to make a certain move to awake you, right? To make you aware that they need you, or because I feel like some of you are really needed and you don't either you don't understand why you're so needed, or the neediness on its own is kind of something that you might have some issues with. I just feel like some of you, it's like you don't see how much perhaps loved or appreciated or desired or again needed you are. And so you're kind of going into a space during September uh, that is very self absorbed. In whichever you have going on right now, is like you're so self absorbed with the things you want to do, and where you feel like you have a power and real influence over that. Again, you're kind of, and I don't feel like you're doing this on purpose, but it's like some of you Virgos are kind of turning your back into those that are around you, again, your environments and things that are of external influences. And by doing so, it's like you're not wanting to, but at the same time, you're kind of giving this energy of rejection. And I do feel like some of you might not want to do so, but kind of give a feeling of rejecting an important person in your life. I do feel like this is also a message that applies for some of you Virgos, that you have been kind of, you gave your back. Actually, here is more like you gave your back to love and to relationships and to all of that, because you feel like, again, you don't have much power control over it. So you kind of took your shift, right, and your energy, your focus into things where you feel you can again control, and you can improve, and you can excel, and all of that. But it's interesting that it feels like for those Virgos that kind of gave up on relationships or gave up on something uh, related to that area of life, again, as we go more into the later part of the month and October, I feel like there is going some relationship situation is going to manifest in a way where there's this undeniable connection, there's this undeniable, again, need of each other, there's this undeniable connection with a person in your life, that you just have to benefit from, and so does this other person. So I also feel like for some of you, this could also be talking about, you have been some of you Virgos have been dealing with some karmic ties with relationships. Some of you, this heavy burden that it's not about work, has been about relationships. So it depends on which Virgo here you are and what's your story. But some of you, there's the real presence here of karmic ties. And what it feels like is some of you are going to be compensated, or you're about to be compensated for all that struggle, lessons, for all the time you had to endure to wait for a situation to turn around at your favor, or to wait to be free from something, to be able to be, again, free and feeling much more empowered by this experience than it is empowered. So I feel like some of you are also leaving this period where you have felt very disempowered, very, very disempowered, almost like crushed by situations when it comes to love and relationships in general that made you feel, again, crushed, limited, pressured into a position or a state of being that did not allow you to feel like you were, again, moving forward, that you were advancing, not only in terms of your love life, but in terms of your personal interests. I feel like some of you that have been dealing with karmic relationships, you're about to end here a cycle, a karmic cycle that really brought you into confrontation with some very deep, raw parts of you that perhaps you didn't understand. I feel like some of you didn't understand some more primitive emotions, and you're much more I feel like some of you are coming out of a situation where you're much more comfortable with this raw, primitive side of your nature and nature of others, where you're much more aware of the benefits that you can reap from instinct and not just from mind. You're much more aware of what makes you tick. So again, that the thing that makes you pursue, right? Your fuel, the thing that makes you move forward, to succeed, what makes you driven to find better for yourself, what makes you go on the hunt for the things you want. And I feel like some of you have been a little bit in this energy as well of despair, where you felt again very helpless concerning limitations of all sorts. And that feeling of being helpless, that feeling of being a victim of circumstances is really changing. And I feel like September is a strong month where things are changing. Things are changing where you feel again weak, disempowered, and feeling very strong, filled with convictions and certainties and ideas and a sense of I'm going to focus, I'm going to apply my energy into whichever I feel I can create a masterpiece from, and I'm going to push it and push it and push it until it's out there, until it's created, until I can benefit from it, until I can show it to the world, like, until I can, I feel like some of you are also in this competition with your own self. It's like until I can prove myself that I'm free, that I'm ready, that I'm capable, that I'm available, whatever it is that you in particular, Virgo, you are looking for. But the need to prove yourself something is also very, 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 very strong. And I also feel like some of you, you have reached your limits when it comes to a situation in which you feel like there's nothing else. I feel like some of you have a moment as well in September where like, there's nothing else for me here. Like, I have paid my dues. I have seen all that there is to see about this complex situation, about the situation that is just a burden, that is just a weight, that is just keeping me down. Some of you are in this moment where whatever is, worn out, whatever you feel like you have seen enough of and dealt enough with, I feel like you're cutting off as well elements, again, ties, strings, connections, situations, energies that have the element of making you feel like, why am I connected with this? Why am I still dealing with this? Why am I still tolerating this when I have so much things, again, to take care of? There's so much world to explore. There's so, interesting people to get to know. There's so many things out there. Why should I conform and settle with something that does not allow me to be free or happy, that does not allow me to be motivated, to be creatively, shining and filled with ideas and visions and thoughts of greatness? Why do I need to think small when I really want big things? I want to be independent, successful, a master again in my work, in my competence, in the things I want to do. I want to see the world. I want to have command in my life. And I want love. And I want a good partnership. And I want good friends. And I want quality people around me. So you go from a space of limitation again, where you felt like you needed to conform to how things were, into pushing that aside. And no, this is my life. This is my chance. And September brings a chance here for you to shine on something. But it feels like you have to have that moment where you put your foot down and you let loose, and you're not afraid to affirm your needs, your desires. And again, what falls in conformity with how you want things around you, around your universe to revolve, great. Things that do not fall in alignment with that greatness of being, with that greatness you want to encounter in life, you will have to let it go, I feel. And without guilt, because I feel like some of you feel a little bit guilty. You might know what you need to cut off, being behaviors on your own, or relationships, or situations again that do not allow you to move forward. You might know already, or you're kind of getting to that point of realization where you understand what you need to let go of, but you might be feeling guilty or responsible, or again, because the Ten of Wands also creates that energy of feeling like it's your responsibility. And in reality, it's not. Your responsibility, again, is to live a life worth living, is to live a life as close as possible to what you deserve, right? To what you envisioned you want to live, a life that falls again into alignment with the truth. So what it is that you're looking for in life, that's also a big question during September. And what actions, not thoughts, not plans, what actions you're taking to meet those same desires and standards. So I hope you have a great month. Thank you so much for all of you that have been liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and donating to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see each other soon.